Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going, and as I like to remind you each and every day, it expands our base. We have two topics today that are critical. The first, the vice presidential debate. The question is who won and who lost. I'm going to say no runs, no hits, no errors. Both Waltz and Vance reflected exactly what they were supposed to reflect. Both gained approval, but interestingly enough, in all the polls I've seen, they basically are even. So here's the bottom line takeaway. The bottom line takeaway is that who wins or loses a vice presidential debate doesn't matter. What matters is the presidential candidates. And that, to me, was the key. You'll notice that the attacks which took place last night primarily were against Harris and Trump from the respective running mates, because that's what running mates do. So will this vice presidential debate make a difference? The answer is no. And as I indicated yesterday, vice presidential debates do not generally make any difference at all. So here is the thing we have to think about. Depending upon who wins or who loses, both Waltz and Vance could be in line to be president of the United States. Did their performances last night, simply standing on a stage and performing, help or hurt? My answer is, in both cases, I think they were helped. By the way, no minds were changed last night. The issues were clear, the issues were precise, and no minds were changed. Now, if I may be so bold as to say, what I'd like to see is a real number two debate between Harris and Trump. I think the time has come for the two of them to stand on a stage. And by the way, it's not too late. It's not too late at all. We have had debates take place as late as October 28th. So my suggestion would be that the American people need to have another confrontation between Harris and Trump. The odds of it happening depends completely on Donald Trump. Either he will or he won't. But the simple truth is, it's a problem, and everybody knows it. Now let's turn to the big news from the Middle East. 181 ballistic missiles fired at Israel. The good news is that little damage was done, and the combination of the United States and Israel and Jordan and Great Britain working together seems to have prevented a major disaster, at least for the time being. But the Israelis are aware that if Hezbollah unleashes missiles along with Iran, and if those missiles are in vast quantity, that the missile defense system the Israelis have won't necessarily work. What will Israel do now? That's the question. And it is no coincidence that there is now discussion of hitting oil fields and hitting nuclear facilities in Iran. This would, without a doubt, escalate the tensions. But if you believe what everyone is saying, and it's a question whether you believe it or not, that Iran is on the verge of being able to have a nuclear bomb, or, as others say, that they have a low-grade nuclear weapon ready to go, then Israel really has no choice, because Iran is determined to destroy Israel, to take it off the map. And the Israelis are not going to go quietly into a dark night. They are going to defend themselves. Interestingly enough, I listened to the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, who spoke eloquently about the fact that Israel is ready to defend itself, that the days when Jews simply were unable to do anything is over. Well, it doesn't solve the fundamental problem in the Middle East. The fundamental problem is the right of Israel to exist as a nation in peace and security. Let the Arab world and the Muslim world together say to the Israelis, enough is enough. But of course they won't, because it is not a question of a Palestinian state. It's not a question of settlements. It is a question of the recognition that Israel is here to stay. By the way, the Arab world did make a proposal that if Israel would go back to the 1967 borders, that the Arab world would guarantee Israel's security. Well, if you believe that, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you made out of gold right here in San Francisco. This is a moment of truth for the world. Will the world stand back and allow Israel to continue to suffer the slings and arrows of Arab and Muslim hatred? I hope not. So, bottom line this morning, no runs, no hits, no errors with the vice presidential debate. And with Israel and Hezbollah and Hamas and Iran, well, it's going to be a real test to see what happens in the next few days. I'll be watching. I know you will too. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am John Rothman. Make sure to follow along and let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand, which, of course, is our goal. You can interact with me on LinkedIn and, of course, on Facebook. And most important of all, I want to say a big thank you to Gogo Zoger, the wonderful producer of this podcast. So join me tomorrow for another tour of the world, Around the Political World with John Rothman. See you then.